The laughter echoed across the training range like a cruel wind. Young Marines, strong, confident, and full of pride, couldn't believe what they were hearing. An old man, with silver hair tucked under a faded cap, stood in front of them, holding a weathered duffel bag that looked older than half the men there. His back was straight, his voice steady. "I'd like to borrow a rifle," he said, his tone calm but commanding. "Just for a few rounds." The recruits exchanged smirks. One of them whispered, "What's he gonna do, clean it or fall over holding it?" Laughter rippled through the group. The old man didn't flinch. His eyes, icy blue and sharp as a bayonet, studied the young men one by one. "You can laugh all you want," he said quietly. "But once you've carried a rifle long enough, it becomes part of you. Like a heartbeat." He turned toward the armory desk, but the sergeant behind it folded his arms. "Sorry, sir. No civilians allowed on the line. Especially not senior ones." He said it with an uncomfortable smirk. The old man nodded once, then placed something on the counter, a small, worn-out patch, its threads faded with age. The sergeant frowned, leaning closer. Then his eyes widened. It was a Marine Force Recon patch, and not just any. It bore the emblem of Vietnam-era Recon, a symbol few living men carried. The laughter died instantly. Still, the sergeant hesitated. "Sir, I still can't." A sudden voice cut through the air. "What's going on here?" Every head turned. A two-star general, General Markson, strode toward them, his sharp eyes sweeping across the range. When he saw the old man, his steps faltered. His expression changed from curiosity to disbelief. "Good Lord," he whispered. "Is that John Riker?" The Marines looked at each other. The name didn't ring a bell to them, but to the general, it clearly meant something. He hurried over, standing face to face with the old man. "I thought you were gone," he said. "I thought you died in Khe Sanh." Riker gave a small grin. "Almost did, sir, but I owed a few boys a promise to keep standing." The general's jaw tightened with emotion. "This man," he said, turning to the younger Marines, "was one of the best snipers this corps ever produced. 57 confirmed kills, 3 silver stars, 2 purple hearts, and a legend at the Battle of Hue City." The silence that followed was heavier than a rifle's recoil. No one dared laugh now. The general placed a hand on Riker's shoulder. "You want a rifle, old friend? You've earned more than that. Let's get you one." Minutes later, Riker stood on the firing line. The young Marines gathered behind him, whispering among themselves. The old man's hands trembled slightly as he picked up the M16A4, modern, sleek, nothing like the rifles of his day. He inspected it, his fingers tracing the barrel with respect, not nostalgia. "Winds coming from the west," he murmured to himself. "Light drift, just like the Mekong fields." The range officer called out, "Targets at 400 yards. A few of the young Marines smirked again, until the first shot rang out. Crack! The bullet punched dead center through the target. Second shot, another bullseye. By the fifth, even the general was shaking his head in awe. Riker lowered the rifle, his breathing steady, eyes calm. "The rifle never forgets," he said softly. "If you treat it right, it'll always remember you." The Marines erupted in applause. No laughter now, only respect. Later that day, in the mess hall, the younger Marines gathered around Riker, hanging on to every word as he told stories of his days in the jungles, stories of brotherhood, loss, and courage. He spoke not like a hero but like a teacher. "Back then," he said, "we didn't fight for medals or glory. We fought for the man beside us. That's what keeps a Marine alive, not pride, not fear, brotherhood." One Marine, barely 20, asked, "Sir, what made you come back here?" After all those years, Riker paused, looking down at his hands. "I came back because I wanted to see if the Corps still stood for what we believed in. Discipline, loyalty, honor." He looked around at their faces. "And I see it still does." The general, standing nearby, nodded. "You remind them what that really means, Riker." Riker smiled faintly. "No, General, you all remind me that it was worth it." The next morning, Riker prepared to leave. The general insisted on escorting him personally to the gate. Before he climbed into his old pickup truck, Riker turned to the group of Marines standing in formation. He raised his hand in salute, sharp, steady, unwavering. Every Marine saluted back. The general stepped forward and pinned a new Marine patch on Riker's chest. "Once a Marine," he said, "always a Marine." Riker's eyes glistened. "Semper Fi," Boys, he said, don't ever forget who you stand for. As the truck drove away, one young Marine muttered quietly, I'll never laugh at an old vet again. The general heard him and nodded. Good, because one day, if you're lucky, you'll be one of them.